It's the one that you've been waiting for. The Safavid Empire is here, the final of our three gunpowder empires. First of all, who are the Safavids? Well, okay. The Safavid Empire is really the Safavid dynasty. They are a Persian empire, one of several Persian empires that have existed throughout history. This is actually the dynasty, however, where we start to recognize the transition into modern Persian history. The latest iteration of the modern Persian history would be the nation state of Iran, which exists today. These guys came before Iran, but Iran really traces their own history back to the Safavids, at least the modern version of their history. The Safavids themselves, this dynasty began with Shah Ismail the first, who is going to gather his followers during the collapse of the Timurid Empire. As the Timurids are focused on their own infighting, the descendants of Tamerlane were not the greatest leaders. They turn on each other and lose focus. And during this time, a number of people are able to break away from the Timurid Empire. One of those groups was the Safavids, led by Ismail and his followers, who are Shia Muslims. We're going to talk more about the religious impact in our next lesson, but it is important for us to know that he is Shia, not Sunni. So he's of the less popular, less populous version of Islam. Now, Ismail is going to be very successful at expanding because of the decline of the Timurids. It begins with the capture of Azerbaijan, which is a relatively small corner of what had been under Timurid control, but was declining, and the Timurids had lost influence there. So there's a bit of a power vacuum, and Ismail is able to step up into that. But he's going to expand rapidly. And within 10 years, he is going to be able to claim most of what had once been that Timurid Empire. So they are really in decline and decay, and Ismail is really ascendant. So this expansion is going to be really good for his empire. He's going to go from, this would be the Safavid Emirate. This would be his little corner of what was once the Timurid Empire, and he's going to wind up taking over. You see the Caspian Sea here, the Caspian Sea here. So this area is just this little corner right here. He's going to wind up taking over all of what is encompassed in this yellow color by 510. So he really expands quite a bit. But this is going to bring him into conflict with the Ottomans, because the Ottomans had seen the decline of the Timurid Empire as an opportunity for themselves as well to push east. They want this land. So do the Safavids, and so they wind up having quite a bit of conflict, particularly over this area, which is modern-day Iraq. Now, this leads to the Ottoman Wars. The Safavids and the Ottomans fight a number of wars over about a 200-year stretch of time, at least 4 major ones. Now, the Safavids are going to trigger this, not necessarily by directly challenging the Ottomans, but by doing something that the Ottomans perceive as a challenge. The Safavids are going to fight against the Timurids. They know how effective Turkish horsemen are. The Ottomans had conquered an empire with them. The Seljuks had conquered an empire with them. They want Turkish horsemen on their side, so they recruit large numbers of them, but the Ottomans see this as a threat. So the Ottomans attack while the Safavids are focused on the Timurids, and they're going to win most of those early conflicts because of their superior gunpowder weapons. Now, the Timurids are going to pick up on this, the Safavids will pick up on the use of gunpowder pretty quickly and start using it as well. But these early wars go clearly, definitively in favor of the Ottomans. Ismail is defeated. His capital in Azerbaijan was captured and held for a time by the Ottomans. But his empire as a whole is going to survive. They're going to move a new capital deeper into the empire, Tehran, and be able to hold off the Ottomans. But most of that will come under Ismail's successors. Ismail himself, great at establishing this empire, had trouble holding it, especially against the better organized, better armed Ottomans. It's going to take 100 years to regain some of what was lost. On the east, they have a better advantage, though. Ismail's son, Shah Tahmasp, sorry, I practiced that and I still got it wrong, Shah Tahmasp, is going to continue the Ottoman Wars and really going to be successful in slowing that Ottoman expansion. But he wanted an ally to his east, so he didn't need to worry about that side of his empire as much. And he sees an opportunity when Emperor Humayun, who we learned about yesterday, was chased from India. He had an opportunity here, and he took it. The Safavids helped Humayun restore the Mughal Empire, which had fallen into almost non-existence. He's going to restore him to power. In exchange, he's going to get a large area of territory. He's basically going to get what is today Afghanistan. So we'll help you out, but in exchange, we want this territory to be ours. They made a deal. The Safavids restored the Mughal emperors to their empire and built an alliance which really lasted for quite some time. So this makes Shah Tahmasp really the most important early Safavid character. He takes over the empire during troubling times. A civil war breaks out just as soon as his father dies, and he winds up being successful in that civil war, despite the fact that he was just a teenager, preteen for some of it. He's able to turn back the advancements of the Ottoman Empire and regain some of that territory lost to the Ottomans. And he's going to gain eastern lands while making a friend of the Mughal emperors. So a double positive there in the east, free land, well, not free land, he had to fight a war to help the Mughals reestablish their control, but they do so, and they do so fairly easily. He's just racking up the military successes. He also had some domestic non-military successes, which we'll talk about next time. But that is all for today.